Hello everybody and welcome to the Sovereign Village Project. Well, it finally happened. I finally got censored here on YouTube. Of course, that comes as no surprise. We've been anticipating that for a long time. I got dinged for misinformation regarding the, well, I can't say that, forced medical device they're forcing into people's bodies. So we'll just refer to it as the mark. I can't use the V word anymore, so we'll say the mark when we're talking about it. From now on in videos, we'll say the mark. I think that'll, we'll try this little code word, see if that allows us to speak freely. But in all honesty, I'm not offended. I'm not upset by this at all. We fully expected YouTube to censor us. This is the enemy's platform. They serve an ideology of evil and of totalitarian control. And quite frankly, they have every right to do so. It's their platform. YouTube is not the government yet. That's where the technocrats are trying to get, but they're not the government. So constitutionally, they have every right to restrict speech on their property, on their platform. Just like if you came into my house or my business and started cussing people out, I'd tell you to leave. And it would be my right to do so. It's only the government that can't restrict speech. Now, of course, they do. And of course, it's morally wrong of YouTube to prevent free speech because they claim to be a community, and in a community, you don't tell your neighbor to shut the F up. You don't put your hand over the mouth and tell them to be quiet. That's not how neighbors act. That's not how communities work. So it's not a community. But what YouTube is a powerful tool for reaching people and building communities. And I think we proved that to ourselves with Back to the Land, that putting up with all of this technocratic nonsense is still worth it for now because we're building real communities of real people who want to build resilience and regeneration of the earth and sustainability and more liberty, more freedom. And more community. We're building a community of people like that on these censored platforms. So I'm not offended. I expected it. And we're going to continue to use YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms, being fully cognizant of what they are and the ideology they serve. They serve the enemy, and I mean the enemy, capital. Like, I know we don't like to use a lot of religious words anymore, but if you think metaphorically, God versus Satan, they serve an ideology of nihilism and totalitarian control, and they believe in entropy. They believe that things should move to a state of chaos, even if they have to build a totalitarian nightmarescape in order to get there. They serve all of that ideology. All of the technocratics do. They hate life. They're anti-life. They're anti-you. They're anti-human. They're all of these things, but they're still a powerful tool that I'm going to use, being fully aware of that until I can't. But that being said, we need to discuss what is the next step when I eventually get fully censored off of this platform. Where do we go to keep sharing this information with each other and to keep building this platform? I know there are many alternatives, from Rumble to BitChute. There's so many alternatives out there, but I don't particularly care for any of them. I really have trouble loading a lot of those videos and getting those platforms to actually work for me. And it's kind of I haven't found one I just really resonate with. Social media is so personal that it's like hard to find what it resonates with everybody. And so Gabby and I have been talking a long time about just really building our own platform, not like a big social media platform, but an online community. Obviously, anything on the internet is susceptible to attack, but we can build something that's a lot more resilient and a lot more sovereign. I know Christian Westbrook, who's a content creator I absolutely love, he's built his own website to be pretty resilient from things like denial of service attacks and things like that. So that's what we're looking at, and like actually hosting our own servers and having them powered eventually by renewable energy sources that are not reliant on the grid, and just making ourselves as uncensorable as possible, and also making our content delivered in a way where even if we lost our access to the internet, as long as we can still get to a coffee shop, or as long as we can still access internet, we can keep it going. I do believe that eventually all of us who are liberty-minded and who believe in truth, eventually we will be shut off from the internet, but that's probably years away because the internet is also such a powerful tool for propaganda and control that they're not going to give it up easily. So I theorize that we will still have access to it for some time. So we're going to keep building this online platform, but our goal with Sovereign Village Project, and with everything Gabby and I are building, Finding Country and our other publications, our goal is to get people away from the internet and get them into real communities and in real communion with each other. The internet is a powerful tool for connections, but it also destroys connections at the same time. It's really destroyed our society. It's been just one of many tools in destroying communities, right alongside the interstate and government. The internet has really broken apart communities and made us not talk with each other. But the Back to the Land Festival, when we got 80 to 100 like-minded people to gather in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee and to learn together for 3 days and to build things together. We built a community garden. We learned so much. We made so many connections. Some people arranged internships, and we arranged so many phone numbers, and we started building new things from there. We started building a co-op, a cooperative agricultural distribution thing here in Tennessee. We started building that. We started building educational resources, and we haven't even begun to talk about all those things on the channel that we're going to build out of the Back to the Land, how we're going to take that momentum and move it forward. So all this to say, the internet can be used for good, and these platforms can be used for good, but we need to be fully aware of what they are and that we are going to be removed and censored from them, and that's fine. We know what it is, we're aware, and we're moving strategically forward. So let's move strategically forward with this channel and with all of the content that Gabby and I want to produce. And I think the way to do that is to build our own platform, our own online community, with an eye of even that online community moving more towards the real world. And so we're still fleshing out what that entails, and we would really, really, really value your input as to what would you like to see? How would you like to talk with like-minded people and really make things happen? And so to give you the full context of that so that you know what to think about, so you can like help us figure this out, the kind of content we want to be delivering is going to be probably a little bit less political than it has been on this channel, because I believe there's nothing more to say about politics. I don't need to track every single egregious removal of civil rights. We're already in totalitarianism. We're already in a dictatorship. We are already losing, and we will lose for some time. And I don't feel the need to call out every abuse of power anymore, because I've already accepted it as fact that the government is and always will be morally wrong. All government is wrong. It's wrong to point a gun at somebody and take their stuff. And that's what the entire concept of governance is predicated on. So we need to build a platform where we can deliver content that's going to help people truly survive and thrive and build communities and build homesteads and build resilience and regeneration in this world. And so what we're going to be doing with content is a lot of design focused stuff. I'm designing several communities now. We have currently 2 intentional communities that I'm designing through my company, Tennessee Homestead Design. We're going to start tracking all of that, as well as the other properties I'm designing, and tracking this property that I'm on, the 5 acres, because I think this is a great archetypical site, because we actually really only have 1 acre to work with, and we're going to produce a commercial farm on 1 acre, as well as feed ourselves on 1 acre. And I think that's incredibly valuable for people who are just starting out, who maybe might not have money for more than 1 acre. I think that would be really valuable for people to see, because it's so affordable and so accessible still to buy 1 acre and build a home on it. So we're going to produce content about that. We're going to produce content about our house build and how we built a house with very little money, and how we built a stick-built normal house, that thing. We're going to do a lot of content about that. We're going to do content about our community building. We're about to start building a fire station. We're building community gardens everywhere. We're building networks of people, mutual assistance groups. We're taking some political action just for pure pragmatic reasons. We're building so much stuff. We're building businesses. We're building an agricultural co-op. We're building a lot of educational resources, both online but also within our community. We're starting lots of classes and events and things like the festival. We have a ton of stuff to build, and that's the content we're going to be putting out. But we don't want to just put out content. We want a community where we all talk together and where we all listen to each other more than we might just in YouTube comments. And so that's the platform we have to build, Gabby and I, and everybody else, yourself included. You know, we're inviting you into this project to be a part of it. So we currently have a few different website angles. We have the sovereignvillageproject.com, we have findingcountry.com, and we have a few other things we're working on. And so we haven't quite nailed which way we're going as far as name-wise, because Sovereign Village Project is only a small piece of what we're trying to build here. We want to make this more broad, more about also just homesteading in general, and about connecting all of the folks here on this channel, as well as just other like-minded people who want to build a world that's more regenerative, more sustainable, more free, and more resilient and self-sufficient. So we want to build that platform. So I want to hear, with that context in mind, I'd like to hear your thoughts about what you'd like to see. We're not so much looking for suggestions of alternative platforms. Again, fully aware of Rumble and BitChute and all of the alternatives out there. But we want to build something that's more resilient, that's truly ours. And when I say ours, I mean yours as well. We want to build an online community that is designed with an expiration date in mind, almost like, you know, we'll keep it around for as many years as we can, but the goal of this community will be to build real communities in the real world, not this metaverse and none of that stuff. You know, we're like, the internet is a tool, but we're going to use it to build real things on the real earth, in real dirt and real soil, and really connect real humans to each other, humans that will touch each other and talk to each other, and be in communion with each other. That's what's needed in this world, not more internet things. So this internet thing is a stepping stone, but it is important, because as we saw with the Back to the Land Festival, this channel and Billy's channel from Perma Pastures and Nicole Sasa's channel and people like Jack Spirko and Curtis Stone, all of these YouTube creators are building really beautiful, good things with their platforms. And so that's what we want to do over here, in conjunction with a lot of these other creators. So let's build this together. Let's brainstorm about how we can build this. Let's build a community where we can all talk on a platform, but put out tons of information and share ideas. So it's not just myself or Gabby or other content creators talking at you. It's you talking back as well. So where we are all kind of creating content and moving towards a better future in conjunction with each other. So let's build this platform, y'all. Let's brainstorm on it. We are going to build it really seriously over these next few months and start bringing some really important content to the world and teaching people how to do this as we learn. You know, we're going to bring the world to learn alongside of us. So hope y'all are interested in this, and I hope you have some ideas to share. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe, be well, and happy homesteading.